Welcome back, everybody. If you are unemployed, underemployed, I want you to get real close and listen carefully to what I'm going to say to you. If you know someone that's unemployed, get them to look at this video, everyone. I know what it means to be unemployed, and I've been unemployed twice in my life, and I know all the things you go through when you're unemployed. In fact, I sat down and wrote a book about my experience. And this was like 14 years ago, 15 years ago. I wrote a book called How to Call a Meeting with Yourself. And I began to identify the strategies that I use in order to get myself back on top. So I want you to know you're hearing strategies from someone that's been there. Through no fault of my own, I found myself unemployed. And the greatest battle that I had to really figure out what's going on was the battle that was in my head. And so the first thing I want to say to you, that are those of you that are unemployed, is you are valuable. I know you go through these feelings, all of these different things. As a friend of mine used to say, all this pitter patter in your mind that's going through, you're going through all these changes. The first thing you feel is you feel inadequate. You feel somehow that you failed. And these are the feelings I went through. I felt like embarrassed. I felt, my neighbors were looking at my family was kind of looking down on me. A lot of it was just in my head. So the biggest battle you're going to have is in your head. So I want to talk to you about how to make your layoff pay off. And I mean big time. People see me now and they say, wow, man, somebody said to me the other day, you're lucky. I'm like, you don't know my story. You don't know what I went through to get back up when I lost every single thing I had in this life and I was unemployed. And so the first thing I want you to understand in three strategies I'm going to share with you on this video, and I'm going to continue to do this because so many Americans are hurting right now. They're unemployed, but I'm saying to you emphatically, this could be the greatest time in your life. I know it sounds crazy, but I can tell you it's absolutely true. Hey, everybody, Dr. Cubie Davis King. I help professionals sell their high value knowledge to high value clients for millions of dollars. And it's what I've done over the last 30 some odd years. And it came from a position of unemployment. I was unemployed. I had to think of something. So after I got past the embarrassment, after I got past all of this pitter patter I was going through, and I'll teach you some strategies on how to do it daily, every day. Because the biggest thing, you've got to reconvince yourself. And you got to convince yourself, for those of you that are not there, that you are valuable and the knowledge you have is valuable. Have you really stopped to think just for a moment? All of the knowledge and skill sets you have developed over your career. Perhaps you got a bachelor's, master's, PhD. Perhaps you are good at working with your hands. You got a secret recipe. How many medical doctors have we heard that left the medical profession and started their own restaurant? See, a lot of the knowledge you have in your head, it may correspond to some very lucrative contracts for you out there. So the very first thing we want to do and we need to do is conduct a personal assessment. Sit down and we teach you how to do it. But one of the things we do as an OD, organization development doctor, if you will, we come in and we help individuals assess their talent, where their skill sets are. Well, you have a lot of knowledge in your head, knowledge that perhaps could be worth millions of dollars. And a lot of times it may not be in the field that you were in. I was trained in the finance field, but I found a niche. One of the things I learned was I knew how to put together information and make it palatable, make it understandable for people could understand what was being taught. And so I went from working in the finance field to a medical field. And wow, was it lucrative for me. So the very first thing I want you to sit down and do is do an assessment. Look at that. I want you to think about all the knowledge you have in your head. Conduct a personal assessment. And we have a tool for you that'll do that, but you can do it yourself. Okay, so the first thing I need to do, get quiet and think about all this knowledge that I gained in my career. What is it? We're going to write it down. Number two, Identify a niche that needs that knowledge. A lot of government workers are out unemployed. Remember, I worked for the federal government for 4 years. And I never had it in my mind that I was going to be there permanently. I was always looking for a way to make sure that nobody was able to put their foot on my neck. Nobody was able to stop me from succeeding in life. And so I identified a niche in the medical field that nobody was really working on. And I'll share that with you a lot more in some of my videos in the future. But take the knowledge you got in your head. The next thing you need, identify a niche that needs that information. And I can tell you, people will pay you for that knowledge. Stop and think for a moment. All of that knowledge you have in your head, how you conducted leadership. Perhaps you was a manager. Perhaps you know how to help people get their PhD because you got a PhD. All of the knowledge you have could be worth me. Now, we're going to identify a niche that needs our help. And believe you me, people say, wow, Dr. King, a lot of people employed. This is the greatest opportunity I have seen in my lifetime. And I'm not saying this, think about it. See, the more problems you have, the more opportunities you have to solve problems. And we got a lot of problems in America, right? You have knowledge that could solve a problem right now. Why not sell it? So that brings me to the third point, create content products. We're going to now take the knowledge that we have. I got the knowledge of what you've been doing over the last 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30 years. I hear people say all the time, I don't know what I'm going to do. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to sit down and you're going to do an assessment of all this knowledge that you have. Next, you're going to identify a niche that needed. All the government workers, I'm saying to myself, if you're unemployed, great. This is a great opportunity. If you've been working for the government, and anybody that's worked for the government for any time, we know where the waste is. Why not go back and sell that information to people that need it? Hey, I can show you how to cut the budget. I'll show you where to cut the budget. I'll show you why to cut the budget because I've been working in this area for X number of years. If you're working for a corporation, and one of the things I remember working with a CEO, and those of you that followed my career know I've worked with CEO to C-suite in over 30 some years. And I was talking to a CEO, and I never forget what he said. He said, Dr. King, he said, listen, I will get rid of people and make room for a knowledgeable person to be on my staff. And he said, I'm always looking for good talent. Think about that. It doesn't matter how bad the economy is. Companies are always looking for people that can help them do better at what they do. Always. So number three, we're going to create some content products. And if you haven't been following my videos, go back, look at those videos. I teach you how to create these content products. And I'll show you what these content products are. If you're unemployed, take heart. I don't want you to feel like life is over. What am I going to do? You're going to go out for the first time and make the income that you are supposed to make. The income that get to that level where you know you can make better, more money, make better income for you and your family. I remember, let me tell you a story before I get off for the day. I remember a friend of mine called me, was on the road. He was driving Los Angeles, and he called me and said, hey, I just got fired. They just let me go. And I said, good. And he said, what you say? I said, good. He said, why do you say that? I said, for the first time, you're going to go out and make some money. You got an opportunity to make some real money now. You don't have any strings attached. Take the knowledge that's in your head and package it and go sell it back to him. Many years later, when he's making some incredible six-figure money, contracting his services out, contracting his knowledge out, selling his knowledge, he said to me, when you said that to me many years ago, he said, I thought you was crazy. He said, but you're absolutely right. I'm saying to you, if you're unemployed, you have a lot of knowledge. I'll put a link down below to the website. We'll put together some special reports to show you exactly how it's done. I'm going to allow you to look over my shoulder and see how I did it. And I didn't have a lot of people guiding me. I'm going to show you what I did and show you the exact steps I did in order to sell my knowledge. I'm going to sign off for now. I'm going to make some more videos for you. Keep in touch, everybody. Subscribe. We're going to teach you how to get yourself back up. This is going to be the greatest opportunity for you to make incredible income for you and your family. Dr. King signing off for now. Come on back and let's do it again until I see you again. Dr. King saying, go out there and make your dreams king.